HANA high availability. Okay, HANA high availability, HANA HA high availability here. Today the point is HANA high availability. So some organizations, especially for the production systems, the companies like customers we will install the HANA systems as a two HANA systems we will install it in the high availability mode. So why? Because if the primary fails secondary, the secondary fails primary, both are fails, we have the DR. So we have the HADR like that, HANA high availability and a disaster recovery concept here. So here, when you are doing this kind of installations and high availability installations, so what we have to do, so suppose the example, this is the primary, this is the one HANA host, this is the one more HANA host here. We have the two HANA servers are there here, right? So here we have the one HANA system is installed. Here also you have the one more HANA system also installed here, right? So this is a Linux one. This is the Linux one here. So and this is the SAP HANA one more host is there here. So here we have the HDB is there here. Here also we have the HDB is there here. Right? We have to install both the host with the same SID, same instance number, same SID, same instance number. We have to install the HANA systems here. Then we can configure the replications. Why? Because all the transactions will happens to in this HANA database. From here, the data will go to in this HANA data. Why? Because if suddenly the replication will go replicate, data will be replication to the source to target. One more HANA database data will be replicated. So if any transactions which done here, immediately it will go to the secondary as well here, right? Primary and secondary. So why? Because suddenly if this HANA system is crashed, we are in the situation to bring up this host, or automatically this will be the active. Then all the data here, it is already populated, already replicated here, already stored here. So no issues, no data loss or nothing here. So this is the concept of the replication concept here. This is the concept of the replication here, right? So here, what we have to do here, right? What we have to do with respect to the concept of the HANA HA and the replication concept here, right? So operation. So here, to perform this one, there are some steps we have to perform. So why we need means, so both the systems in both the systems. So in case of suppose like some of the banking servers are there, mission critical applications are there. So in that case, so we should not have any failure. Suppose like if you have the one server is there, if this is down, what will happen? Until we fix the issues, there is a business loss, right? Business will be lost here. So, but some customers, so there should not be any single point of failure also. In that case, if that is failure also, immediately this will be up. So we have this database until we will work on this database issues here, right? In case of this is failure, this will be there. So like that, we have the HA scenarios are there here in the SAP. In the HANA database, we have the HANA, these concepts are there here. HANA high availability and replication concepts are there in the HANA database here. High availability and the replication concepts are there here. So what to achieve this configuration, what steps we have to perform in the systems to achieve this configuration? What steps we have to perform in the primary and secondary here, right? So there are some steps here we need to follow further to progress this to configure the replication. The first one is HANA DB should be up and running. HANA database should be up and running on both the host. It should be up and running here, right? Both the systems, it should be up and running here. So let's see here. Here we have the HANA database here, right? So here we have the HANA database here. In the HANA database, we have the SAP Linux one we have here. SAP the Linux one we have here. In the SAP Linux 1, let's see what is the database is up and running here. Suppose the example HDB, right? HDB database is up here. So let's see here HDB ADM, then HDB info to check this one. We have the one more HANA system, right? So that is called the SAP HANA. SAP HANA. SAP HANA. There is a one more system here. SAP HANA here. Let me check what is the IP. Um, Just 1 minute. I'm checking the IP of the current HANA host name. Okay, 1119 199. So I got the details here. Say 119. C Windows System 32 drivers. SAP HANA. Okay, we got the SAP HANA here. So here we have the two HANA servers here. SAP Linux 1, SAP HANA here. Right here, let's see we have the HDB ADM is there or not. First of all, nothing is there here. Okay, so that's fine. So let me check what are the databases are up and running here. First of all, we should know about the SDH ADM is there here. So here we have any database like SDH ADM, SDH ADM. No. So we need to stop this one. Why? Because in both the systems, SID should be the same. It should be the same SID here. Here we have the HDB ADM is there, our common database. So we can install the similar database in the SAP HANA host also. In the SAP HANA host also, we will do the similar HANA installation. We will do it here, right? So that we can configure the replication and high availability configuration here. Replication and high availability configuration here, right? Here, let me take the one more session here and duplicate session and to check here. And which folder we have the files are there here. Slash media. Okay, here we have the HANA DB software is there. Okay. So here I'm going to install the one new HANA database with the name of HDB. Okay, same SID, same instance number should be there. Same SID, same instance number should be there here. All right. So here let's go to second one, install. Then okay, stop it here. So slash HANA shared. Okay, SAP HANA hosting. Okay, that is fine. HDB. Then 00 fine. So group fine and host that is fine. Encryption fine. Weta volume, log volume. So that is HANA volume. So password. So combination password is not correct. Unknown user password combination. We'll reset the password. For Linux level, the password reset is very simple. PASSWD HDB ADM. Password reset is done. System password. Same password I'm giving here. So yes. Okay. So this is getting installed here. So this is getting installed in this location, in this host also. Same database is getting installed here. So what I'm going to do now, so here also we have the HANA database is installed. So then, okay, fine. Okay, here we are getting the HANA database installed. Here we have already HANA DB is up and running fine with the same naming conventions in the both the databases in the both the sites. We have the HANA should be up and running with the same SID. So we have to maintain the same SID. We have to some steps. So HANA we have to so maintain the same SID and same instance number in both the host. That is what we have to do it here. Same host, same instance number we have to same. Password should be different, but so SID and instance number should be same. Okay, but different host, two different host here for configuring the replication modes here, right? So here we have to maintain the same SID, same instance number. That is what we are doing here. It is getting installed here. It should be up and running. It should be up and running here, right? It should be up and running. But here, so error checking the minimum memory is physical memory, but minimum memory is done 24 GB. Okay, minimum memory is the 24 GB here. Okay, got it. Then let's power off. Let me increase the memory. See here, so it's purely HANA is the memory mentality. So if you have the free memory, then only HANA database will be installed. Okay. So it's not like that. So we need that one, this one. So definitely we require the more memory is required here, HANA databases. So I'm going to start it. Okay, so we'll draft the steps here. So until we get that one, we'll go with the steps here. So here, so we have to maintain here. Once the system has to be maintained here, then so exchange the keys means copy the SSFS keys from primary to secondary. So the key location is the locations of the key where the key files are there here. Then USR, SAP, SID, SYS, global. Under the global, we have the security folder. There we have the data and key files are there. Those files we have to copy from primary to secondary. We have to copy that keys here. That we have to copy that keys. We have to carefully. We have to plan that one here. Copy the SSFS keys from primary to secondary, we have to copy it here, right? So once done it, then restart the secondary DB to check, restart the secondary DB to check whether so DB is coming up or not. Why? Because sometimes what happens after copying the files, database will not come up. So we need to do that one. Then step number 5. So enable the replication on primary system. Okay. Then register the register the secondary secondary into primary. While registering, we need to provide the so operational modes. So these are the very important operational modes and so replication modes we have to provide to the SAP. It will ask what are the operation modes, what are the replication modes we have to provide to the SAP. So in the console while registering, it will ask it here. What are the operational modes and replication modes here, right? What are the operation modes? So replication modes here. Okay. So HANA, they are the so two types of operational modes are there here in the HANA. They have the two types of operational modes are there here. One of the two types of operational modes here. One is the data delta data shipping here. Delta so data shipping here. The second one is called the log replay mechanism. Everybody will use the log replay mechanism here. So what does it call the log replay mechanism and delta data shipping? Which one we have to choose it here, right? So coming to the in the system replication, so we have the these are the operational modes are there here. So coming to the delta data shipping here, before we discuss, let me start here. The installation will start it right while we are discussing here. Second install. Again, we have to give the inputs, I guess. So HDB ADM. So here this is up and running. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So HDB, what is the instance number we have given here for this one? 00. So 00. Okay. So 00. So same instance number we have to give it here. Okay. So 00. So then go pay. So here, okay. So this will run now. It is installing the database. So okay. So discussing about the delta data shipping and log replay mechanism here. All right. So what is this operational modes? This is an important question. In the HANA HA, can you explain about the how many types of operational modes and replication modes? So operational modes, we have delta data shipping and log replay mechanism. So what is mean by log replay? So what is mean by delta data shipping? So delta data shipping means, so this mode in the delta data shipping means here, so this mode will system replication, it will establish the system replication occasionally, where by default every 10 minutes once the delta data shipping takes place in addition to the continuous to the log replay. So every 10 minutes the data will move to from primary to secondary here, every 10 minutes here, right? So every 10 minutes, suppose like when the data is, suppose like we have configured, so this is a primary system, so this is a secondary system here, right? So while configuring, it will ask the what is the replication mode you have to configure it here, right? So then while configuring here, so every 10 minutes the data will move to the here data will be moved to the here, every 10 minutes once data will go to the here, occasionally here the delta data shipping takes place in addition to the continuous log replay. So the secondary system will receive persist the will receive the log entries, but it does not replay them until you take over. Means, so all the logs, whatever the transactions are happening in the primary, all will be taken place into the secondary, but the logs every 10 minutes taken to the here, but the logs will not be replayed. Logs will not be replayed here. It does not replay the logs until then, until we have to take over. When the secondary, when the primary is down, when the secondary will become a active, that time takeover is in progress. So that time all the logs will not be takeover. So that is the reason, here to shorten the log replay time here, the data snapshots are transmitted, data snapshot we have to send from the time to time from primary to secondary, we have to take it out here, right? The data snapshots are transferred asynchronously as the different backups, different data backups triggered by the second system, it will be transferred here. So during the takeover, only the logs will be replayed onto the secondary system here. Means, so the basically delta data shipping means the primary HANA system to secondary HANA system. So HANA system occasionally means by default every 10 minutes the data will move to the here, but logs will not be replayed here. But if you take the log replay mechanism, so whatever the logs are there here in the whatever the logs in this operational modes, so immediately the logs will be continuously, the logs will be replayed on the secondary system after the, so after the takeover or during the takeover, immediately it will be happen here. Immediately the logs will be happen here, right? So the immediately that will, when the secondary system is disconnected, the primary system must not have override the log segments is not replicated here, right? So there is a some conditions because so normally everybody will choose the log replay only. Why? Because as soon as your data received to the primary, immediately the same log will be replayed onto the secondary, right? But delta data shipping, every 10 minutes once the data will go to the here, but logs will not be replayed. Means logs will not be executed. The logs will not be executed in this case here. Logs will not be executed in this case here, right? Those are the two types of operational modes are there here, right? So coming to the replication modes here, we have the three types here: sync, then sync mem, then the third one is the async here. Sync mem, and so we have the sync mem, and so we have the async here. So what does it mean? What does it mean by the the replication modes here? What does it mean by replication modes here? So synchronous here. First of all, synchronous. These are the replication modes here. These are the operational modes and replication. These two modes you need to set for while registering the secondary into primary. While registering secondary into primary, you need to set all those things here. All those things we have to set it out here. So what does it mean? What does it mean by the operational modes and replication modes here? So the basically the main thing for both is here. So to replicating the data from primary to secondary, they are to replicating the data here. Replicating the data here. Right? So the synchronous means here. So the primary will send the transaction to synchronous mode, means primary will send the transaction to the secondary will receive it, and will receive it to the in the receive to the data folder level. It receive to the data persistency layer means data folder level it will receive it, then it will receive it here, then it will send the acknowledgement back. It will send the response back to the primary saying that I received the transaction. Then primary will send the one more transaction. Then it will receive the transaction and it will commit it here. It will send back to in this way. So in the synchronous mode here, so consistently the data is transferring to the all the data is transferring to the primary to secondary, the site 1 to site 2, all the data is transferring here, all the data is transferring from site 1 to site 2. This is transferring here. So in this mode of situation, the primary node waits and halt the transaction till secondary send the acknowledgement, which means so in the synchronous mode what will happen here? So primary, before committing the second transaction, it will wait for the acknowledgement from the secondary to see whether my secondary received the transaction or not. Once it is received it, it will send the acknowledgement back to the primary saying that I received the transaction, send me the one more transaction, like that. So series wise the data transmission will happen here. So acceptance of data, persistence of the data volume and log volume here to the disk here. So synchronous means disk level, the data will go to the here sync mode. Ensure it will maintain the consistency between the two nodes here, right? So the primary node ensures that it will not commit any transaction before secondary completes or secondary receives the first transaction. The waiting time of the primary node for receiving the log is here 30 seconds only. So in the 30 seconds, so the acknowledgement from the secondary 30 seconds, it should wait it here. So it resumes that the transaction without completing the replication, if no receive the message from secondary, then it will so there's in between something, there is something is happens, there is a data loss here, some disconnections happened, there is a data loss here. So nothing will happen, it will wait for the acknowledgement primary, then So then only the primary will commit the second transaction. Until then, it will wait it will wait for longer time. Then if the secondary is disconnected during this time in the synchronous mode, then you will not able to, the primary will have the performance issues in the system. Primary will have the performance issues in the system here. That is the sync. That is the synchronous mode here, right? And sync mem. Sync mem also same. Sync mem is, so primary will send the transaction to the HANA main memory. HANA main memory here. This is a disk. Sync means disk level, it will send the transaction. This is the main memory level, it will send the transaction. Once the transaction is received to the main memory, RAM memory, it will send the acknowledgement back to the primary saying that I received it. Then primary will send the one more transaction. It will send it out here. Means primary will wait for the acknowledgement or the recipients of confirmation from the secondary, then only it will commit the next transaction code here. That is called the sync mem and sync disk level. Async, we have the one more replication mode means here called the, so one more called the here. So async. Async means primary will send the transaction, but there is no acknowledgement here. So primary will not wait for the acknowledgement. Primary will not bother about my secondary will receive the transaction or not. Primary will not bother about my secondary is received the transaction or not. It will check it out here. The primary, so will not bother, which means it will not wait for the acknowledgement, right? Primary system keep on committing the transaction. It will send to the secondary, but it's whether secondary whether received or not, it will not bother. It will keep on committing here, right? So in this is called the async. So simple here. Sync means in the synchronous, it will wait for the acknowledgement. In the async, so it won't wait for the acknowledgement. It keep on committing the transactions here. That is the one thing here. So here, so two types of, so replay operation modes, delta data shipping and log replay. And replication modes, sync mem and async here. So when we have to select this replication modes and everything, so normally people will select the, this is the common method, everybody will select this one. And suppose it is the primary and secondary HA scenario, they will select this two, anyone you can choose it. But DR scenario, we will choose the async mechanism here. DR scenario, so we choose the scenario here. Once you configure it, then monitor the replication, monitor the replication from system DB. We have to monitor from the system DB here. System, so one-time configuration, we have to monitor from the system DB here. So the actual scenario, how it will be here. So HADR scenario here, this is the primary system, this is the secondary, and this is the DR, disaster recovery. This is also one more HANA system. So these two are in the primary side, one data center. This is in the one more data center here, disaster recovery data center. So normally we will configure the here to here, we will configure the replication, right? So from here to here also we will configure the replication also here. That is the disaster recovery scenario. So this replication mode is called the async. Why? Because DR is very far from the primary. So it's very sync and different data center. To avoid the performance, sync means, why? Because sync means this is for the sync or sync mem. Anything you can select it here, right? One is the main memory, second one is the disk format here, anything. So here we will choose the operational mode is called the log replay and the log replay mechanism. This is the HANA system, HANA 1, and this is the HANA 2 here. So this is the HANA 3 DR. So DR means entire, if this is down, we have this one. If this is down, we have this one. But entire data center is down here. This is the data center 1. Data center 1. So this is the data center 2 here. This is the data center 2. So primary mission critical application, banking server applications will be in this post scenario. So three databases, primary, secondary and DR here. If the primary is down, secondary we have this entire box is corrupted. Then you have the business loss. No, not required. Why? Because we have the DR, disaster recovery. We can bring up the DR so that DR will operations will happen from the means SAP operations will happen from here, right? So these things here. This is the primary. So primary, secondary, DR scenario. So this is the HA scenario. This is the HA, and this is the DR scenario. HA only primary, secondary. DR we don't have any again primary, secondary. Only this one here. This is the production servers here. This is the critical high availability landscape like this here. So this replication data, why? Because all the transactions will happen to the primary database only. All the data will be saved here only. Once the data is saved via this replication mode, data will go to the secondary and here. This way data will go to the here, right? This way data will go to the in this both the sides here. So this is the way we need to configure the replications and high availabilities. We have to configure it here, right? So now we have to follow these steps here. So it's HANA database should be up and running. You have to maintain the same SIDs, right? Copy the SSF keys. Suppose what happens, or if you don't copy it means secondary, it won't register into the primary. Step number 6, it won't work. We may face the issue here. So then that is the reason we need to copy, restart, and check it out here. So while registering the secondary into primary, it will ask the what is the replication mode and what is the operation modes here, right? So that is the thing we have to choose it here. So here, still it is getting installed. So let's wait. Once installed, we need to configure it. We need to check. We need to exchange the keys. A lot of things are there here. Yeah, configure the instance. Actually, we should have installed before the class itself. Even I forgot it. So meanwhile, let me connect to the HANA Studio.